The following movie is rated R.
Welcome back to the R-Rated Podcast. Today's guest is Mitch, and he is a writer and director for horror movies. So we're going to talk about where you're from and how it all started.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I fell in love with horror from my dad,
Oh, okay. Where are you from? Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, where are you from?
I originate from Austin, Texas.
Okay.
And I was out there. I did, went to school out there for high school, college, like basically my whole life. So
right.
Moving out to Los Angeles right after college was kind of like a huge jumping point. It was completely different.
Have you always thought about like, okay, that's the plan. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to LA.
Oh no, not at all.
Okay, so tell me
girl,
how.
Not even like
I want to know the story of how, like, what sparked that initial like, I want to direct. Like, did you always know you wanted to direct? Because like, I didn't know I always wanted to direct. I know it was something in the film industry, but I didn't know.
That's
it was
right, because you. It's funny. You work in so many areas in film, and so like.
Yeah, I do, but my main thing is, I would say, is directing and writing.
Right, and it's funny because it was such a fast process when the project we worked on that when I started like looking, I was like, oh my god, she works everywhere. So it was just cool to see that like there are other, it is good to like have different like assets to like that work, and I don't know, it's just really interesting.
The reason mainly is because I was always told like directing is not that easy to just like after graduating it was right. I've been told it's not that easy to just walk on set and be like, hey, I want to direct, like give me a directing job usually. And I have had this experience as well. It's like I apply to things and it's like, oh, we're looking for someone with like 10 plus years of experience, right, or even in the 30 years, like some crazy shit. And I'm like, I get like I'm newer into the industry, but I think in the last like 4 years, a lot of different things has come my way, and I've been able to, show that I can do different genres and also, wear different hats in the filmmaking industry. So hopefully, like it's working out. I don't know. Like I'm like,
no, it's true, and it's like nobody's looking.
Wait, like shortcuts. I'm like, it's just like I don't want to wait like for 10 years and then be like, all right, now you can work your way up.
Oh yeah, no, and it's like nobody's looking necessarily, rarely anyway, for a director, because everybody wants to direct their own thing,
right? Or
that's like the first thing they have, and they want to like hire out for everybody else. That's
right.
That they need, because they need that talent and that work. But yeah, no, I definitely did not start doing that. But it's funny, like to even go back, like I've been doing it my whole life, and not aware of it.
Uh-huh.
Like that's what blew my mind, and my mom was the one that kind of pointed that out, because I studied acting all through like part of middle school, high school. I went to college, got my BFA.
I can see that, because you're very loud, like voice and presence. Like I feel your energy when you, but it's great. You walk into a room and it's
you work with actors, right? Noticed, like it's like being one in the like and having and working behind the screen on stage, like know what it's like. Yeah. And so when I sympathize with actors, and I know like what it's like to be in that set,
Right. So you know how to like put yourself in that situation, and you're like, okay, like you have that like connection that maybe not every director necessarily has, like right off the bat.
Well, it's a gift, because it's like, I've been asked, it's like, well, why don't you keep doing it? It's like, because there's just that point where it snaps at you, or like, I'd rather be the person that like guides those characters through whatever, I studied it, but even going back to like, I was like young. I made movies with my sister and my cousins. Like really, like but like but I mean like for kids, and learning how to like edit and like on really weird like free programs or something that would come with a camera.
It was easier back then to edit, or maybe I was just like, I don't know. Like now I'm like, I don't like, what are the shortcuts? Like what are the keys?
That's the adjustment layer. Like.
Like, excuse me. I'm like, this is too advanced for me.
Well, it's or like you messed around with like iMovie or whatever it was.
I edit on iMovie.
Like it's so.
And that's what I like. I'm like simplicity. You know what I mean? Like once there's like too many options, like too many. I'm like, I don't know.
100.
Yeah, or it's like when it's too hard to sync sound. I'm like, I don't like that either. Like, oh god, it's so difficult.
You're like it's gonna be a long night.
You have to like make sure it's like I don't know. It's just.
Well, I mean, it's it's funny. Like I'll go home for the holidays and stuff, and like pull out these discs, like old, like all these like tiny discs of like.
I used to have them. That's amazing.
You know what I mean? Like, and like we would come up with like weird scenarios, and like we would like dress up people as ninjas, and like they would like kick someone in the head and do really weird comedic like things. Or
very creative.
We tried to make a horror film with like all the kids in the neighborhood at one point, and like no one was an actor, but like it was just like funny that we were able to even like put something together at all.
Wait, that's cool.
And I just really like, and then at Christmas time we have like a huge family, and so they all come in, and we would put on like legit, we would like rehearse plays, like legitimate, like a Christmas Carol we did one year.
No way.
All of the younger kids, like, and I like directed them, and like I played like Scrooge, and like they would play all the parts, and like it's like a thing we watch every year because it's so like. It's so fucking funny because you can't believe that it's like well put together for children, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God. Have you ever thought about like directing plays and stuff like that?
I did it in college and I really liked it.
Yeah.
But it has to be very specific. Like I gotta really like the script because like I'm with plays. To me, it's very hit or miss.
Right.
You know, have you ever done it before?
I've never directed a play, but I think it's really interesting. I actually saw my friend's play like a couple weeks ago, and I was like sitting there. I was like, it would be really like nice to absorb the like crowd and like be on stage and just kind of like get a new feel of directing, like a new, type of experience of directing. Cause it's very like, I feel like in your face and personal for like those 4 hours you're on stage or however long. But like, film sets is more spread out and like you like come in and out of like these characters or like getting back into the story. But like, I feel like when you're on stage, it's like in that moment, you're just so present.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So it's, I don't know. I think it'd be thrill seeking in a way or like fulfilling in a way, but I don't know if that's like my thing. Like, I don't know if I'm going to, be good at it, but I think it'd be interesting to try.
I think you definitely could. And I feel like you're very easy to work with people. And it's a very like, it's really in your face kind of work, you know, you're not editing, you're not cutting anything out. You're getting right what you get right there, It's a different type of like direction, right? Totally. You're moving, it's a lot more movement in bodies and like, there's no camera necessarily. Mm-hmm. Like it's, you know what I mean? It's just different. Mm-hmm. It's so, but like in that, I mean, but I had a mentor that sadly passed away in, I believe it was 2017, right after college basically. And, he just, I do believe that if it wasn't for him, I would never have pursued it at all. Wow. Because he messaged me and during the summer, like in between like my junior year, I believe. And he was like, hey, are you taking and directing one? I was directing two class. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to take directing one because it's part of prerequisite. And I was like, yeah, this is the semester I'm going to do it. Yeah. For BFA, you had to do it,
Well, that's cool. They actually had like, it was it an art school or was it a non-art school?
No, we just at Texas State University.
No way.
But the BFA program.
Class there?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And well, they had like tiers too. Like they had like the one where like, it's more like scene study and the one where you actually put on like a 45-minute play.
Wow.
But you had to cut it from like a hour and a half, 2 hour play or whatever.
Cool. That's awesome.
But he messaged me and was like, hey, you know what? Like, do you want to take directing too? Which is like skipping the first class. And I was like, oh no. Like that's like, I need to learn how to like, he's like, I think you can, cause we've done previous work in the past and he kind of, I don't know. And so I was,
just saw it in you.
Yeah. And it felt weird. Cause like, I don't know how peers would feel about it.
Maybe
and,
they'd be like, oh, you like got the upper hand or something. You didn't want that. Like,
I definitely did not.
But so did you take tier 1?
Well, I just his word meant a lot to me too, and so I was okay. I'll look and find something. Okay. I definitely found something. Yeah. So and I was just thinking like, okay, and I kind of was into the idea. I don't know. It was just kind of one of those, I was so focused on being like an actor that like it didn't. But I took that class. And,
what kind of actor did you want it? Or were you thinking like comedic or like drama?
I got cast in a lot of like dark like comedy.
Okay.
Like
cool.
A lot of or like where it's like a really like. It's a character that's more myself than I really like. It's hard to explain. Like the really like shy kid that ends up doing something really crazy, or like
I like
comes out of the show. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know, but it's like I just somehow, because I guess my dad too. Like I just resonate in like dark material, and not because it's like I feel like people have different reasons, but like there's something about where I feel comfortable like in darker colors, in moodier like Halloween pumpkins and like or material that's like even like it makes me scared. I don't know why.
No, I like it. Yeah,
cool. You know what I mean? It's like it's weird that because to the normal like audience that
it might be scary
insanity.
Or like,
You sound like an insane person, but really though like it's like if I get to go to bed every night watching something like scary, like that's my like I'm done for the day.
I mean, I do. I mean, I put on murder documentaries sometimes, like not every night, but I do. And it's like. That's not really the most relaxing thing to watch before bed, but
wait, what have you watched any recently?
I mean, I usually watch. I've seen them all. Like I've seen The Night Stalker. I mean, that's not that new, but like it's new. But honestly, all the new ones that drop on like Netflix or Prime, or I'm on it. I'm like, I want to watch it. Like
it's so fascinating, right?
It's fascinating because I like to like see like what their childhood was like what led them to those choices. You know what I mean? Like what happened? And it always stems to like some childhood trauma. And it's always interesting to see what that trauma was. And honestly, I like to like kind of like dissect like people in documentaries. I'm just like, wow, it's like so interesting how they found these people. And this is a real story. Like, you know, it's very unique, I feel like, because it's real, you know, it's not, for the most part, it's not made up. It's real shit that's happening around the world. It's like someone's putting all their research into like, you know, a visual story for you. So it's like easy knowledge to pick up, but in a creative, entertaining way.
What was the last thing you watched? You know, we just had the Halloween season, right? Too. But like, what was the last thing that you watched that like genuinely like frightened you? Like that really like got you? You know?
Frightened me. Yeah. Okay. So when I was younger, definitely more like Insidious scared the shit out of me. The Conjuring, stuff like that. Actually, really, the Sinister actually really scared me too.
That's and funny. Those same guys, Ethan Hawke and I believe Scott Derrickson. They're doing The Black Phone. They're back together.
What's that about?
Oh, if you haven't seen the trailer for that,
you're like, go look it up right now.
It's Ethan Hawke as a serial killer, which is not his normal role. Right. So, and it's the same director as Sinister, and they worked together before. So I'm So you said that like that movie.
That shit used to scare me super bad. Now I think what scares me more is real life shit, like stuff that's more like someone coming and like stalking you and then killing you. Like that's more scary to me.
But the documentaries you're watching,
like it's weird. Like I think because it's like facing your fears almost. Right. You know what I mean? Like I'm almost like I'm gonna like watch something that would actually really scare the shit out of me. And maybe like I can be prepared or whatever.
No, you're absolutely right.
Because
humans, it's frightening what we do to other people. You know, and it's really
just like what you know. It's like some people have like just no heart, it seems like, or just really like they don't care. It's like something's missing there. Like they just like can see through a person sometimes, and it's really like crazy to see. But anyway, like I recently have found like stories like, for example, Creep. I thought was really creepy. Like it's not terrifying when I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be thinking about it. But that kind of freaks me out because I'm like, I could be in that situation.
It's a great. There are probably people that are like looking to make money that go on Craigslist and they go, hey, wait, this is a pretty well. I have a camera.
Literally, you know? Like that was me like 2 months ago. I was looking for a job and like I was looking for like 2 months actively, and it was like I wasn't finding what I wanted, and I was like, damn, like we're like losing hope basically. I was like jumping between job websites. I ended up on Craigslist, and I was like, maybe I could find something easy, quick on here, blah blah blah. So when I saw that movie, it literally like gave me chills because I was like, holy shit, like that could have happened to me. Like, you know, 1,000 for the day sounds intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, it almost sounds like it's almost like
you know, right? Yeah. I'm just like, damn, like I could have been put in a situation like that. So like nowadays, like that kind of shit creeps me out more. I like think about it, I'm like, damn. I think more psychological stuff too. Is more like my vibe. But I mean, if a movie can give me some good jump scares and like get me unexpectedly, I'm always gonna be a sucker for that shit too. But like I think because I'm a director, I'm like, I kind of feel what's coming sometimes.
Did you watch things and go, I wonder how they did this? Like,
yeah,
you know,
I know.
Oh, shit, I wonder how they did that. You know?
But you know, it's a great movie if you don't do that, right? Like if you're actually like lost.
That's how you know.
That's how you know. Like, oh shit, this is intense. Like. You know, so I don't know. It's been what's your type? Okay, wait. Tell me. So you said your dad was the reason.
Yes, definitely.
But okay, sorry. I want that question answered. I'm just so interested on like, what does your dad do that made you interested in that whole like more dark side?
Well, it's funny. He's not like, it's not when you hear like an actor talks about like oh, he introduced my dad into all these crazy things. Like he's not like, my dad is a goofy, like sweet, like kind man from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I love it.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like he's always cracking jokes. You would never think that that's the guy that like. But my dad, he just had this like really special understanding of like how to celebrate the holiday.
Yeah.
And so you know how you like drive down houses during December and you see that one house that's just
like
decked
lit
out
up
for Christmas. Like holy,
totally like
that
they
was
went all out
our house
for Christmas
for Halloween.
Halloween.
Like we had my dad like. You know, it's just for some reason it's like the 90s, like early 2000s that like I remember the most of like why it was special.
Right.
He would set up these like.
Aww, that's cute.
I'm trying to think like.
I just think it's cute that that was like your memories like of your child in the 90s is like Halloween, like it just being super like festive and decorative. That's cute.
Like it's like no matter what happens to me in my life, like the fact I got to experience those like, you know what I mean? Like that can be happy. Honestly, like he would like play like. these terrifying like soundtracks in the garage. So like when kids would like, it was like, really loud. So like it was always setting up for like doom and like, and there was these. He always had the perfect jump scares and things planned out, and like he always was the one that's dressed up and like and in the house is always like there's like specific even like things that we would unpackage from the attic every year that I was like always looking forward to seeing because I had a specific like sound effect.
It's like it's like Christmas, like when you're excited for your favorite ornaments. Like, hang that shit on the tree. Yeah, no, I get it. I like that too. That it's like with Halloween because like you're honestly one of the first people that like not first, but like someone that I know is like a hardcore Halloween enthusiast. It's like I love Halloween and scary movies. I love it too, but I feel like you have a little bit more insight on like Halloween. I don't know. Stuff.
Like I think everybody has their own experience with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like some people really just don't like the holiday, and it's like that's fine too. I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason. Right. But I mean, I don't know. He just like I mean, we had a box of like just costume pieces. My sister and I would always just like makeups. We did arts and craft. We carved pumpkins, and like I became really like good at it because of him. I don't know. So I'm a lot for like. But it was never something, again, I would pursue. Like, it was just something I really loved. I collect DVDs and, like...
What was your first scary movie that you remember?
Oh, man. Like, the one that, like, really scared me?
I guess still to this day, you're like, yeah, that one got me. Like
the one... It's funny. Like, there's a bunch. Right. But, like, I think the one that, like, got into my core was my mom, like... She bought, for some reason, like, a closed, like, VHS copy of... The Haunted Mask Part 2 from Goosebumps.
Okay.
And those were like made by Scholastic, right? So like at the time, they were toned down from how scary the books were. I read like hundreds of them.
Yeah,
man, that one like it's just the idea of like the kids like putting on the mask and that the third time it doesn't like come off of your body.
Yeah, that's creepy.
And that like you become what it is, and like so even though it would terrify me, I would just like watch it like. Constantly back to back, you know what I mean? And man, like, and then what's crazy, my mom was a substitute teacher, so she would like on rainy days, this is a different time obviously, right? She would bring out like the rolling TV that they would bring out and shit. Like
I actually do remember the rolling TV.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like they bring it out and like everyone's all like, oh, it's movie night. Like
it's what is it gonna be? What's the movie?
Well, she put on that shit. And I remember going like, Mom, are we gonna get in trouble for like playing that? She was like, I don't know, but the kids loved it, So she was just as so like it's just always been there, but it also like created those images in my mind of like when you want to go back and like watch those, like there's nothing like that time period that the 90s that it comes out of, that you can't recreate no matter how much you try. And
I agree.
So but I never thought I would be doing that, but we tried like making scares of all the time. My best friend who was like not into it at all, like he liked watching, but he's not even a film, but he would always just like be willing to listen and make crazy ideas, and we just film things.
And that's how you learn. That's literally how you learn. That's honestly that's what I did. I used to on the old Apple laptop I had or MacBook I had. I had iMovie. I would literally make music videos. I would lip sync to songs.
Get out of here! Yeah. Wait! You would like perform like the videos?
Yeah. So like I would listen to the lyrics and I'd be like, okay, so like for this part, maybe like she's like outside walking, like looking around, like hella dramatic, like pretending like I like
Britney Spears era kind of stuff.
Literally, like I just in like California Girls, Katy Perry, like that. It was like that era. So it was. All types of kind of music videos. Like
do those videos exist? Are they available to see at some point?
Unfortunately, they do exist.
I mean, look, I have to see it. You already did it, so
eventually, I'm sure you'll find them because as hard as I try to report myself to like on YouTube, I can't. Like, please flag this shit. Like, I was.
You try to like find different accounts. You're like, how's the password?
Report inappropriate. Even though it's not inappropriate. It's just embarrassing. I'm just like report.
Nah, man, it's you to the core at the end of the day, right? Like,
it's funny, I'm like, maybe I'll like look back in 10 years and think this is hilarious, but right now I'm like, it's embarrassing.
No, that's hilarious. That's part of you. And I like how you said, you're like, I was like, can I see it? You're like, if you find it.
Yeah, I'm like, you can find it. I'm not gonna show you, but I'm like, you can find it. It's out there. It's not that hard to find, but like, I'm not gonna pull it up.
No, it's okay. There's a video somewhere of I think the first movie. Everyone's like, what's the first film you ever made?
Isn't it funny when you ask that? I'm like, oh god, like you really want to see.
You want to know, like actually, like not with like the
when you're doing it, you're like, oh, this shit is good. You know what I mean? Like
you're a kid, you're
school, like even in film school, when I was like learning the basics. Like I was like after every project, I was like, I'm pretty confident about this. I'm like, I think this is good.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, oh no. can't post that. Like,
well, you just grow. You've grown.
Right.
You've grown.
Like, it's on a hard drive, and I like looking back on it for like my own satisfaction. Like, just like, oh yeah, I've come a long way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
But at the same time, I'm like, I can never post this.
You do it before and after, right? It's like a montage
it's
thing
like,
or something.
oh shit, like no, you know.
No, there's definitely a. Out there somewhere. I'm not even sure if it's on YouTube anymore or even on YouTube. It was there was a site called ifilm.com before YouTube blew up. Okay. That people would post, and like there's a video of a movie called Sumo's Attack, and it was like it was I had like a giant shirt, and I was a kid. We stuffed it with pillows, and I would just my sister would like come around like different areas of the house, like as if it was a horror movie, and I would just come tackle her as a giant sumo wrestler.
Oh my God.
Weird things like that, you know.
Wait, that's amazing. Okay, so after you did these classes, when did you decide so after college did you come to LA or like?
Well, it's weird. It's so funny that you're like we're talking about this because it's just weird how things like come around, right?
Yeah.
You know, so I think that was like 2016.
Yeah.
I graduated college. I auditioned for like all these like playhouse, trying to do theater. I was trying to do theater, and so the play was awesome. It was like huge, but I also was like not thinking again, not doing. I had written screenwriting and like done like playwrights and all that kind of workshops and like. But again, I was just focused on being an actor.
Right.
And I got into this show. It was in Chillicothe, Ohio.
Wow.
And it was like one of the biggest like outdoor like theaters in the world, and they did this show called Tecumseh.
How did how did you stumble upon that? Like, how did that?
Well, we like all as seniors like auditioned for like with the school they had like programs you could like go and audition for all these playhouses and stuff.
Okay, got it.
And then that was the one that was it was like the best like just for me being a new actor. I was like, it was like probably the most money I'll make like doing this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Getting out of school.
Totally.
So I was like, I'm going to Ohio. You know, and I had a girlfriend for like 3.5 years at the time, but I was like, hey, it's first summer.
Yeah.
So you lived like on the compound. It was all cabins.
Yeah.
Like, so I didn't have access to like real Wi-Fi or like.
Really?
We could only go to the store if someone had a card. So I made like friends and a bunch of buddies there, and like so it was like. At first, you're kind of like there's like you get sick and there's like things out there and bugs and spiders and like you're working out every day trying to like do the show and 6 shows a week basically.
Damn.
Sunday off, Damn. And so I owe these people my life because basically what happened was around like the 60th show in the summer, my buddy Ben and I, we were roommates.
Yeah.
Everyone on Sundays, they would drive off into like Ohio City.
Get out of
they would try and we were just like, we're dead, but we're
tired.
also so basically he and I became so close on like movies.
Yeah.
And so basically what we would do is we would get in his car on Sunday. Everyone would leave. So it would be just us.
Yeah.
We'd black out like all the windows, make it dark as hell.
Yeah.
We would drive to this store called FYE, and they had in Chillicothe. I don't know why, but the DVDs there were so cheap, like really like quality, like Blu-rays and like
Blockbuster. Sorry,
right?
I a flashback to like DVD rentals, and I'm just like, why did that happen? Like, so that was like a bad like nightmare we just can't wake up from, like Blockbuster going out of business. Like I remember hearing it, Blockbuster and Toys R Us. I was just like, are you serious? Like. I never in a million years thought that was going to happen to me. I was like, why did they go out of business?
There's still one left, though.
Doesn't ever. Yeah. I know.
There's
but
one left.
Where is it?
Shoot, like, if I remember, man.
Yeah,
but it's like, but they stay in business still because people want to keep it alive.
Yes.
We have to go there. Like that should be a trip alone,
Yeah, like, that should be like a field trip. Like show support as filmmakers, like
stay in Airbnb, go there every day and just rent movies and just
literally watch them on a projector or something. That'd be so cool. It'd be so much fun. Okay, wait, back to your story. Sorry.
No, but like that is part of the special. And like Ben Stoll had this like real ability to really love, and and then my friend Jake as well, and then my friend Emerson. I just started realizing there were a few like really big movie buffs. My friend Andy, and so what we did was we started kind of creating a little movie group, and we'd go there. We had nothing to spend our money on except like, unless you had done things back at home or whatever. So we were like, well, dude, let's go. Like, so we would go and buy like 3 movies each. And then we would just, like 9, imagine three men crammed in a cabin. We would just watch like 9 movies in a row.
Damn.
For the whole summer.
Wow.
Every Sunday. You know what I mean? So like it exposed me to also just a lot of other good work. And I just got, so then I started like, I'm doing the play. The play became, I put my love and work into it, but it also started becoming like a secondary, like.
Yeah.
I started getting obsessed with
movies.
And then around like the 60th show, this girl
60th?
Rachel, like 60th show, like in the summer. I mean, it was
60.
I mean,
Holy
it was a lot of shows. Like,
and they're how long are the shows?
2 hours at least.
2 hours.
But like, and very physical and running and real life horses and fire and like it was. I learned how to ride a horse and everything. And, like,
oh my god! Okay.
Yeah, I almost.
Did you have like understudy, like people in case you got like sick?
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, it was a professional show.
Yeah.
It just like, but it's very like physically demanding.
Well, yeah. Oh my god! Of course. Like doing anything of every day is like demanding and tiring. You know, like.
And it's your body too. Like, it's your body. You're like, and because it's so physical. Like, if you got sick, like you could not do it, you know. Yeah. And so that was taking care of yourself during that time was weird. But like, I even almost lost my eye during one of the shows. Because you know, like they have like blood packets for like when they do the gore and stuff like that. And we've rehearsed it like a million times. But like one of the shows, it just got really crazy. And they're supposed to lift the guy up, and I'm supposed to like gut his stomach, and then they have a guy that has like a bag that they rip open as a slice, and the blood goes on the audience. However, they turned in the wrong direction, and so it went in my eyes, and that blood was not like the like safe blood. Because they wanted the ones that was detergent because it looks more real. Oh. So that detergent just like and sand and dirt, and so I carried through like the rest of the performance like that, and I was like,
it's like burning,
and everyone was like, "Oh, he's like really into it today. Oh my god!" But I started just like punching the wall because I was seeing static, like TV static in this eye.
Oh my god!
And then when they like took me in and they had this like they put this like gel.
How long until the show was over until you had like hold out like that?
Oh, I probably missed like a week, but there was a week where I didn't.
But like, how long did you have to continue acting like that with your eye out?
Oh, at least like 10 minutes. Oh shit! And it doesn't sound like a long time, but when you're like burning,
you're in pain and you can't see, like think about it, when an eyelash flies into your eye and it bothers you and it's like your eyes tearing up, like how much it bothers you. Like that times like 1,000. It
was crazy. So again, like, but you know, so even when we have the movie nights, I'm just sitting there like this, like trying to watch like something with like one eye or whatever, you know. But anyway, like the group of them, one night, my buddy he had like a Canon on him, he had like a 5D on him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And and you know, but it's creepy as fuck out there. It is. You're out in the middle of the woods
because once it's dark, it's pitch black, right? Like there's no
I mean, they have like you know lights that are built, but I mean
it's
dark. And and then there was like stories about like the place being haunted by like Indian settlers and you know there was I swear on my life there was one of the three of us that were in the cabin like her like scratches on her walls, but that's a whole like we were
that's a whole nother
we were so freaked out, you know. But one night like my friend Andy who he was obsessed with filmmaking, and I was like, dude, like what if like after the you know we get off of the performance, let's like shoot scenes and like we'll just slowly build like a movie, you know. And he was like, dude, like no one would ever, because apparently he did this show like years ago, and he was like, let's do it. And so we kind of started writing an idea, thinking how we had nothing. We had like a little click light that like clicked blue. Our cabin light, I use your entrance light, it was like a red light, you know. We had the 5D, and then he had like Premiere Pro on his computer. At the time I had no idea how to edit. Now I like edit full time, but like it's like, so you know we're writing, and we wrote it on like a notepad, the whole script, you know, and like
I love that.
And we're saying, well, who would do it? And then Ben, who I told you earlier, like he was like, I'm down. He's an actor. He's like, I'm down. And then my friend Rachel, we needed a girl, and all the girls were like, no, like we're tired, or like, or they were just like, oh, we don't like scary things, or like, you know, they're just busy. And so, but like your friend Rachel, man, she was like, oh, that sounds fucking fun. Like, let's do it. And so we started filming like night, and we're looking at the footage, and we're like, and it was, and they were like, well, who should be what? I was like, well, camera. Well, Andy's definitely camera, you know. And then they're like, well, then you should direct it. And then I was just like, oh no, like I don't want. I think this is like it's all just no. We need like someone that's like, you wrote it, like like go for it, dude. Like,
so you wrote it,
and they were like, this is really fucking scary, And you know,
where did the like, how did you get the inspiration or creativity to write the story? Like what?
Oh, that's right. We had each cabin. It was just empty. You just open land, but they were like all spread out. But ours, for some reason, had this like fence post where like it was like a bar like this, and it had so it was just weird that ours had this like, and we were like, oh, this place is cursed. Great, you know. But we used that as like, so we had an idea. Okay, the guy that's like trapped in a cabin, and like he can't go past this thing because if he does, something on that side can grab him. You know, that was a simple premise, right? But then the twist of it's like it's actually like his girlfriend that got lost in the woods, and like, but he can't go out looking for it, and he can't leave, so he knows that he's gonna die there. Like, so it's like, you know what I mean? He knows that his time's no matter what.
It's in there. It's dead. Like he's dead after a certain amount of time.
But you know, of course, like
you're gonna try to survive.
You're gonna try and carry on, and also she could calls to him from the woods and stuff.
Oh, you can hear her.
And so like he like
I like that.
It was just so fun, and like we like got creative like. There was just so much we tried to do with it that we could, and then we found out that the end, our director was like, "Hey, so at the end of like the season, we like to put on like a talent show.
Oh,
we go on, we like they go up to this like really high mountain, and they have like seats that are hidden, and like you can like perform.
This place sounds awesome. Like,
it was crazy.
Yeah,
like,
what?
Yeah. And,
okay, so a talent show, and then you're like, I'm gonna obviously like.
Well, we were like, well, good dude, let's make the movie, and then we'll screen it as our like submission.
Oh yeah, duh.
You know, so so Andy and I, you know, and he's teaching me like editing, and like that's the first time I ever got exposed to like really how to actually edit something, you know. Yeah. And he was teaching me all these tricks and things, and I was just like so fascinated and mind blown. And he was like, dude, like I can't believe we did this with nothing. Like this looks
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm honestly that's why I'm staring at you like that, because I'm like, what? You know, because usually it's like people will be like, oh, I learned it off of YouTube, or I went to film school, or something like that, right? But it's like I just really love how, first of all, it started with your dad, and then how it started just like with school taking. First of all, it wasn't even a film school. They actually had a directing class. Like, I thought that was really interesting.
And it was part of like an actor's like BFA. Like, you had to take it for BFA if you were trying to be an actor, or whatever.
Right?
So,
which is also interesting. Like,
which is good. I think I really owe school.
Great.
I really owe Texas State for that one too. But and Jeremy Torres especially, because he's the one that like. It's like you.
I just thought that was really interesting, because I personally haven't really heard much about like the Texas film industry and stuff like that. So I'm like, like
it's different. It's different.
It's cool that they're educating like their college students, like, hey, like if you want to be an actor, you have to also do directing and like know both sides, or the other way around as well, like whatever.
Definitely so. And then for stage 2, it's different, but I think it still plays into like film and cinema. And, like,
no, I mean even in film school we took like. I honestly wish we took more acting classes. We only took one.
Oh, really?
And it was very, like, on the surface, though. Like, it wasn't, like, like, get it, like, do a play or, like, create a scene and you have to act in the scene. Like, it was very, like, just, like, learn the basics of acting, like, basic, like how to approach a scene or a character, which was still, like, helpful and interesting. But I think even doing, like, volume 2 of that class would have helped even more. Like, obviously, like the more experience, the more exposure to that would have helped you. But like, yeah, I think it's really interesting, because I kind of did something similar like that too, but it wasn't as like hands-on as I would have liked.
Sure, no.
You know?
Did you ever consider like being like an actor, like really going for that like route?
Well, that was like my first. That's what I thought I wanted to go for in the beginning when I was younger. Like, I used to like love movies, TV shows, all that, and music videos, and I would like see the girls on screen. And I'm just like, I want to be on screen. I just wanted to be on TV. I was like, I want to be on TV. Like, I want to be like doing that, And then like, I'm like, wow, they get to wear like pretty outfits, like, especially like all those girly girl movies, like Mean Girls. You see like the girls, you see like I saw Lindsay Lohan, Amanda Bynes, and all these movies, and they're like always playing the like pretty girl, right? And like
Hillary Duff,
they always have like their makeup, hair perfectly done, new clothes, like little dog. Like it almost seemed like they live this like dream fairy tale of being able to be all these like perfect little girl characters or women characters, which obviously is a little unrealistic, like to think that that's all it is. But like,
no, but when you're growing up, that's what it feels like.
And it just sounds so amazing. And I was like, I want that, like I want to be a part of that. And then I did it. I actually acted in a scary movie, Amy DeVille, Terror. So that was my first.
Yeah. Hold on. Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. It's embarrassing though.
Did it screen at Screamfest by any chance?
I don't know. It's on Prime. On Amazon Prime. I don't know.
I think I saw it at Screamfest. I'm like, wait, oh my god!
How many years ago was
Oh my god! When did me and Costa go? It was like
definitely like a couple years ago.
Yeah, like 2 to 3 years, if that. Somewhere in that range.
Yeah, because didn't the movie come out in 2017? Maybe.
Then that would line up then, if I'm right, because I remember it was like a big, and like the director, is he like a white gentleman? Was your director like a white gentleman with brown hair?
See, and even back then, I didn't even know much about directing. I was still on the other side. I was like, oh, like acting.
You're just doing the scenes.
Yeah, I know. Like, I knew the producers and stuff like that, but I didn't even like tap into all that. Honestly, it was until after that shoot.
Yeah.
I kind of I had a really fun experience on that shoot, and I loved like I thought it was really cool, scary movie. I was like, yeah, this is, I gotta play like one of the mean girls. I was like, this is fun. I'm like fun in my element. I'm just kidding. It was cool. But then I just was like, something isn't like fully there. Like something didn't click. Like I didn't feel I was like the right one for the, like, I don't know. Like I wasn't like confident enough to be like, I'm an actress. You know what I mean? Like this is me. Like I just felt like there were people that were better than me at acting. I honestly felt that. I'm like, honestly, like I just feel like I'd pick her instead of me. Like I just felt like her performance is stronger, and like that's
which honestly, that's like director's brain. You're like they're really good. You know, you see things in people, which is incredible.
And I started but I was like, I still want to be in the industry. I still want to do something. So I was like, maybe my thing's more cinematography. So even when I started the film program at NIFA, I was still thinking like, oh, I might be a cinematographer. But then
that's amazing.
But then like aspect ratios and a little bit of math started coming into, and I'm like, shit, is this it? It's like, I don't know about this.
Math? Is this the?
I was like, you have to measure your subject and the camera, and I'm just like, excuse me, I'm not measuring shit. I'm just kidding. But I was just like, oh my god,
I am measuring shit.
And then as we were going on, then I started taking directing, and I like, you know, I learned, I was like, you work really close with the actors. You know, create the story visually. You get the feel of like what the tone and the theme. And I was like, that's what I felt instantly connected. Like when I heard my teacher talking about it, and he was like explaining what he does and like showing his work, I was like, I want to do that. Like it just clicked. But like it didn't click until, you know, like a month into school. Like I literally was just like thinking I wanted to be an actress, thinking I wanted to be doing cinematography, but that was never like it. Like it just like, you could feel it. You know what I mean? I was just like, it wasn't like there. Like I was like, this is really cool and I like being around it, but like this is not my calling. I don't believe, you know, like I could just feel it. And like when I direct, I'm just like honestly so happy. Like I don't feel like it's work. Like I'm like, this is amazing that I get to be doing something like this. You know what I mean?
You're like aware of like this is a special moment.
Yeah. Like I'm, if anything, it's like more just grateful and excited because I'm like, this was like an idea in my head, or this was just like something that I like. Even with the documentary, I was just like, I would love to shoot a documentary. Like, how cool would it be to like?
That's right. Yeah. Wait, I saw like posts, but I was like, okay, well, I'm going to see her. I mean, yeah. Wait. So, who is this gentleman? What is it all about? I really want to know.
It's basically it's the drug epidemic. It has just gotten worse, especially during COVID. Like, you know, being isolated and all that. And I have a personal connection to the whole like drug stuff because my cousin had overdosed. He passed away like 2 years ago, and it really affected me, and it kind of like rocked my whole world. So, you know, I just was like, how can I like contribute in a way that I'm good at contributing, like which is making films and, you know, creating stuff, videos. So I did like research, and I stumbled upon this rehab. Also, a friend like referred it to me too, and it was literally it's an alternative rehab, like holistic healing. Like they let you smoke weed in the program, not like whenever you want, just like whip out a bong and just smoke, but like you know, regulated times. You know, like if you feel like you're withdrawing and you might want to relapse, or if you're gonna fall asleep and you have trouble sleeping, like stuff like that. So it's because it's really hard to quit stuff cold turkey, especially when you're doing hard drugs like that. So I just really wanted to like kind of see what that's all about, see if that's really maybe the new way of like recovering or helping. If it could just save one life, that's kind of like what I want to do. Like if I can help one person, then I want to help that one person. Because unfortunately, I just feel like I wasn't able to like help my cousin the way that, you know, I would have liked. So that's how that all ties in. But I'm just saying, like, you can definitely manifest your future and like stuff like that, because I feel like that's what I did with the documentary. I was like, it would be so cool to like, you know, direct a documentary. I'm so interested in this topic. Like, you know, I'm so fascinated by documentaries. I think it's so cool. And then I just kind of went for it. I was like, just go for it. And the worst thing that can happen is like they say no, or like they don't respond.
Okay, yeah, cool. Moving on. Thank you.
Exactly.
Like, they say no.
Then then what happens? You just continue with your day. You know, make dinner, go to sleep, and then go to work the next day. Like same shit. Like you always do. Like
cool. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a little, you know, tip if you want to go for it.
But you are honoring your cousin because like.
Yeah,
that you are like you want to go and like make you aware of that. I think it's really special.
Thank you. Like I'm like, oh shit, like this. It's triggering at times. Like it's a really heavy, like touchy subject. But I feel like, you know, this is like something that I feel like will help me also in the long run, and it's bigger than just me and the whole community. It's just like a whole us as a whole. Honestly, we're finding this like ginormous epidemic. So Yeah, I just feel like hopefully it can, help people, unite people, whatever, help recover. So, but I want to go back to you.
No, it's funny. It's like, I know, it's like, we got to like bond over a shoot and everything, but like, I haven't gotten to know you very much either. So, like, this is
I'm glad
insane.
that we're getting, and I'm sad that it took this long. I'm like,
no, but that's literally living out here. If anyone doesn't know, that's literally,
and that's what directing and the film industry is all about. It's like really time consuming sometimes. Sometimes you're working projects that are back to back, you're working long hours, you're tired, and then also we're hitting the holiday season. So
when you have
like,
personal lives too, like you have friends, significant other, maybe your family, and like your own personal time and mental health, physical health, whatever.
Exactly. So there's a lot like going on, and so it makes sense. Like when I narrow it down like that, I'm like, totally makes sense. We just haven't had time. Like life came in the way, but at the same time, like no, like I want to get to know
so much
you.
has happened since September too. So
but you know what? I'm so glad you brought it up because I actually want to talk about it. I want to talk about how that came to be. Like how that all happened, how you got the idea. Like tell me about the music video.
Well, I mean, again, like quick shout out to Angela because she brought you into my life. So
I know we wouldn't have met without her.
Shout out to her if she's listening at some point. Right? But no, basically, as we all know, last year, including all the way through now, has been very difficult for everyone in different ways.
Right.
And so Chloe and I, my girlfriend, we share an anniversary on Halloween.
Oh,
so
no way. Okay,
her birthday's on October,
like,
so
Halloween
we just go crazy through October, right?
I love it.
We literally like try to take off the whole month in a way and just go to everything we can. I love it. And just until we can't move on November 1st.
I love it.
But last year was very difficult because all the haunted houses, all the parties, all the
there was
experiences, you couldn't screenings, you couldn't go to anything. Mm-hmm. And so we try to really decorate the house more than we usually even do, and watch it and just really have fun that we can.
Yeah.
But one day, and I was still working at my job throughout all of it, wearing my mask on my face 9 hours a day, editing in Premiere Pro, just and
so you edit during the day.
Yeah.
Is that your?
Yeah, I just work. I'm a videographer for at this company I work for.
Oh,
and,
amazing! Cool.
But
that's what I'm saying. Everybody wears multiple hats.
You have to,
even on sometimes when I do the COVID testing on these big jobs, it's even these,
oh my god, it's got to be
even on the big jobs
tedious.
But they're also one guy he was doing COVID compliance, he's a COVID compliance officer, but he also does he's an AD, that's his title on other productions. So it's just you never know
the jump shifts.
Who you're going to be working with or for. So it's
well, you also
be nice to the quiet guy.
You do COVID a COVID officer. You work in costuming. You
basically
work in
so what pays the bills right now is COVID testing. So I work for a COVID testing company that specializes for TV and movie production. So they literally get hired by different productions.
It's a smart gig, yeah.
And they have people get tested, rapid tested or PCR because, extra safety. And when you work on these sets, it's up to 200 people. So it's you want that.
It spreads
guaranteed.
Like wildfire. The second one person's
so it's they want that extra safety. So basically my job consists of going there, setting up a little pop-up, my little laptop, and just checking in the crew, making sure that their date of birth is correct, and then they just get nose swabbed, and once they're negative, they can go to work or start work basically. We're at base camp, and then they can enter set once they're negative.
Because Paige too, she's certified, right?
Yeah, she does. She does that too. We don't work for the same company or anything, but kind of same stuff like that. Yeah, just COVID compliance officer, which is cool. I like it. It's been helping me kind of meet more people, it's interesting seeing it with your own eyes because it's so different from independent sets, but it's there's pros and cons, you know what I mean? The pros are you're with big high people and you never know when an opportunity can arise, but at the same time it's you're with big people, so they also treat you hey, depending on who you are, you have to pick and choose. It's very interesting how it goes and stuff, and
it's constant pressure in some way. I can't imagine.
And it's sometimes I feel the love and the drive and the passion of this film, this project is sometimes missing on bigger sets. Seems people
I can see that.
Feel I'm clocking into work, which deep down I never really want to feel that, because I always feel so excited and happy when I direct something. I'm yes,
because you're in charge of how everyone else also feels. You create that
and
ensemble.
I feel that energy on set. I can feel even I'm not the director on these big sets. I'm just doing the COVID testing. But if I can sense something's off on set, I'm sure the director has to, right?
It's ripples, man. It just like goes through, you know.
Yeah, and it's like you want like, you know how they say like happy wife, happy life. Like it's just like happy crew, like good movie or something. There needs to be a phrase for that.
Yeah,
we need to come up with that shit, like because it's true. Like imagine if you have like a cranky crew or if they don't feel like appreciated, like you're not gonna get good work. So,
yeah, they're gonna just do the job versus like getting the shot, the dream shot. You know,
exactly.
Everybody.
Exactly. When someone's really into it, you're like, oh, like they don't mind, like, oh, I'll stay like 5 minutes extra to get that like that extra shot because it's gonna like add that much to the story or whatever.
Exactly.
Versus when they're there for the money, it's like I'm hired for 12 hours. Like,
11:59 is
getting
close.
Yeah.
But you also need to. It's I can't. So that's crazy and like.
But tell me, okay, so back to the music video. So you celebrate Halloween all month. It's your thing. Chloe's birthday. Tell me how did the music video come to be? How did it come your way?
I swear, like I love the members of Lovecraft because like when we look back on the story, like it's such a great story. I mean, basically, me and Chloe were very sad just because October and we were just not going out and just trying to also just figure out what life is at that point.
Well, yeah,
and day by day, but basically I was starting to like put together like my playlist. I have like a Halloween playlist. I like work on it. Like I try to find new because I find new music and I try to find new and have like a really so I just have it on shuffle in the house and we just like to like read or watch movies, just play games and stuff like that. So and all of a sudden like this song called Skeleton Sam popped up on like an Apple playlist for Halloween and it like. It again, it's everything I talked about with my dad and growing up. There's something about that song.
Did it like trigger something?
It added all the slump of all the 2020 just went away for a second. Yeah. And I was like, this is like the greatest thing I've ever heard. Like in a long music, I was like, this makes me so. Yeah. I probably listened to it like 60 times, memorized it right, like and then like after like that whole day. Right. And I was like Chloe, because I told her a long time ago that I someday would love to make like a band because I used to play like guitar for like 12 years.
And, okay.
And I was like, I'd love to do a band where it's like Halloween, like garage band, you know what I mean? Like, but it's Halloween focused, like even if it's like pop or EDM or music or rock music. Okay. And it was just like a thing in the back of my head I would want to do later in life, Yeah. But then I was like, wait, someone answered my prayer, like someone is doing it. And I started looking them up and I was like, wait, what? Who the hell are these people? Yeah. So me and Chloe got really obsessed and then Skeleton Sam played on Hubie Halloween that came out that year on Netflix. And then Sabrina the Teenage Witch, they had a song there as well on the Netflix show. And so we just started like, oh my God, we're like geeky fans of this.
Right, Lovecraft, of course. Well, yeah, of course.
And so we started supporting all their pages and stuff, and then I was just thinking like, but I started looking at like their YouTube and they're like, they didn't have like any music videos or like they had all these like lyric videos that were really well done.
Right, animation. But no music videos, yeah.
Yeah, but again, it was like I was obsessed with them back in my head. And then around like March, April of 2021, this year, I'm like at work and I got my little notification of like that they have a video up. A new video. I was like, and it's not October yet. So I was like, ooh, what did they put?
Yeah, it's not October yet.
And again, they put out this song called Halfway There, and it was basically like a halfway to Halloween song. And it's smart as shit.
Oh, that's so smart.
And it was, it rocked my, I get really passionate about like certain music and like, I was like, okay, fuck. I was like, I asked my manager, I was like, hey, can I like, what if I just emailed them?
Yeah.
And like,
dude, it starts with the fucking email. Like, honestly,
and send them the password. I sent them the past like 3 films that I'd done that like, had listened enough to make like a notoriety and like the festival circuits, all that stuff. I really tried to like, but I also basically sent them like a love letter, kind of like, you guys have no idea what you've done for us and like how much we love you guys, support you guys, and like thank you for everything. And honestly, so I said I'd love to work with you in some capacity. I said I don't even know what you have coming up,
right? But just like,
or you can look at this email, like, smile and just literally delete it. I said if that's like literally no pressure at all, we're fans at the end of the day. And it's like it was the first time I've ever put love. My name any email and I was like they're gonna think I'm a psychopath but then and so I sent it and then I didn't hear anything for like 3-4 weeks I think I didn't even think twice about it. I was like, oh, at least I did it. And then one day like I see an email from Norman Crates, which is I won't give away his identity, but like that's like his like they have like these characters that they play in Lovecraft, and I was like, no way.
No way.
They're like, hey, are you free to Zoom on like this Friday? And they were like really enthusiastic in the email and I could not believe it. And I was
see? Yeah, if you didn't take that risk or that opportunity, if you just were like, no, like, I'm just going to continue working and not send that email, you might have never gotten that opportunity.
I was just
it's
shocked.
Literally,
like,
you give yourself those opportunities. If you just put yourself out there, it's like, you never know what opportunities you could have, you know?
Yeah, and that's it's funny you said that earlier. Like, it's, I think for anybody that is trying to do this, like, like, put yourself out there.
Put yourself out there.
Respectfully, obviously, but, you know, like, you know.
But seriously, like, yeah, like, you know, come from the heart, right from the heart, and, like, show why you're passionate and, like, why the subject is important to you and why you feel like you could contribute to that, you know, and make it, like, how you can collab together. Like, that's exactly what I did with the documentary, and that seems like you did the same.
You reached out, you did it, and
right.
It's like because you felt passionate, and it comes
and
from
they feel that on the other side too, and
it's a weird synergy thing, you know, and like especially with Amanda, one of the main producers too. She has a whole thing about like energy. I could tell as a person, and I don't know. It just I didn't know any of this. I didn't know any of this, but I feel like I just like these. I get these people,
right.
And we got on this like at 9 a.m, you know, and I try to like look like these like a half human, you know, make sure my cat wasn't going to jump on the desk. I was just like super nervous about it, and then Chloe,
like a job interview,
Chloe was just be yourself, like calm down. And you know, and she's like, you've done things like this before, but like I was like, I'm not about these guys. You know, we're like geeky fans too, right? So you know, and like get on, and like they were like the most kind and like nice people. They were like super focused, and they were just so, and they said they watched our work and like read down to the details about certain, and I was just so like, I cannot believe this happening.
Right.
They asked me about how I work, and I showed them like my basically my partner and I, Costa Jamie Nello, he and I work on everything together. So I started showing him like, hey, because they looked at our films, like, oh yeah, that's the person I do all my work with, and like he's a freaking genius. And so we showed him kind of our process, how we work, and like storyboards, and like even for like a feature that we're like working on right now, and like just the whole like, and then basically like what I would do, you know, and and they kind of like looked at each other, you know, after, and then we talked for like an hour maybe, and they were like, hey, so we're gonna send you like a track from our upcoming album. It's like we think it's gonna be like our big single from it. Listen to it, and if you resonate with it, like let's talk further and just see. And they're like, we think you should have the job, basically. And I was just like, I'm like, so you know,
you scream inside.
10 minutes later, I get like a, hey Mitch, this is like and
oh my god,
it was the Every Night song. And I mean,
so that was your like, oh my god, yeah.
I remember, I didn't even like click on it.
Also,
like,
click the link right below, and it will take you to the song.
Yeah, so, no, I mean, and I mean, you've heard it. Like it was like it's like it reminded me of just like if Thriller was made in our time. That's what it's like. It was like Daft Punk and like Michael Jackson's Thriller,
no,
and like, you know,
it's so catchy.
It's
like
so
everyone
catchy,
on the shoot
and like, you know,
like,
you had a bunch of really good. You Jake Miller on the track, and like Jay Hart, and like on the songs, and I mean, I mean, I lost my mind. I listened. My sister came into town too, and I was like I was like, you can't. Sorry, guys. Like you can't like. And I mean, it was one of the greatest things I've ever heard. And I was like, oh my god, please give me the job. And they sent me like a concept, and it was like, if I'm correct, it was a mix. Do you remember that one Jay-Z music video where it's Christopher Walken? And he's like dancing through like a empty mall or whatever.
Ooh, it sounds bad.
Weapon of choice. Weapon of choice.
I'll look it up after this.
Yeah. So it was that, and then there was another track. I don't know why I can't think of it right now, but it was like a couple, and I believe in like the either 70s or 80s, like trying to escape somewhere. And they kind of wanted the idea of like the Reaper being like this dancing, like funny dancing, like, you know. Yeah. But so I like wrote I think I wrote like a script in like a week. I was just so, and then the disco ball thing came to my head, and all the like, and then like they were saying it would be inside of a Spirit Halloween store, and so back to what I was telling you, like all the way before that show in 2016, like my life like completely just like tanked, like went completely downhill at that point in my life in October of like 2016. I had like, you know, I come back from that show, like my girlfriend and I had split after so long. I thought that was gonna be my next path in my life, and so like I was like, I don't know what to do now. Yeah. And I like went home with parents and like I watched a lot of DVD. I think for a period I was just so like, you know, sad for a while. I just watched a lot of like, I read them off Amazon or go to the store, and I didn't know, and I was like, okay, I need to like, I don't know what I need to do. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever been in part of like in your life where you're just like, I don't know what to do. But I have to do something to get myself out of like this slump I'm in. And
it's not healthy, you know, when you're like in this like repetitive cycle, and you know it's not good either, and you're just like, but you're just stuck in it because you're just like,
you can't even help yourself. And you kind of have to give yourself that like.
But you also have to be aware of it too. Like you have to like take a step back and be like, I'm you know, I'm doing this like cycle, like I'm in a cycle that's not good. Like I need to break out of it. You know, you have to have that conversation with yourself. Like being really self-aware is huge, you know? And I feel like that it's key with directing too. It's like, how can you sit and give someone like, you know, advice and tell them to do this and direct them to do that when it's like, you're not like sitting there and coming to terms with certain things yourself.
You're not performing.
Yeah, you're not like being real with yourself. You're not sitting there and, you know, like being like, hey, like what's triggering this? Like, how can you expect and demand that from someone else?
That's why I believe is if you're a director, casting is like 85% of your job, man.
Yeah,
because if you have the instinct to pick the right person, you don't have to necessarily even like have too many of those combos. It's just kind of like, you know, they're going to just be able to do the job. You know, you just give them little adjustments.
Exactly.
Let them do their thing.
Exactly.
You know?
That's so true. That's so true.
You know, but yeah, I mean, it's weird. Like my dad loves Spirit Halloween. Like he goes
well, that makes sense.
He goes every year and like updates the house. But then when he does this, he like waits by the door on November 1st so we can get the half off sales and just get like
for next year.
Shit for next year, you know? And so
smart.
Like,
so
you know,
smart.
So I was like, you know what? I love this. I saw like a email about like they're hiring, and I was like, you know what? It's right near the house. Like, I'm gonna go work at the Spirit Halloween store. I'm gonna apply.
Yeah,
you know? And I worked there for a whole season, and the people that worked there, like, I did not know them at all coming into it. I got so close to all of them.
Of course, yeah.
They like made me. I was like so excited to go there every day. They brought me out of the ground. I felt like I had like a small little home to like just kind of escape to.
Right.
It didn't make any. None of it made any sense to me at the time I'm thinking about it. But like they were just so good to me and like so nice, and it got me out of my slump. Yeah. You know, and I really like I got over that hump in my life, and that was when like my parents, my best friend, like dude, it's time for you to like. You should go out and like go to Los Angeles, like and go out and like and pursue your like get back. Yeah, like that's your mentor. And so it took them for me to like and you know and we made the risk. And so it's just weird that 5 years later, around the same time,
you're directing a freaking music video at Spirit.
In Spirit, and so that's why it's like, you know, a lot of people think of Spirit as like, oh, they're the place that dives into a Macy's, which is true. And they're like,
but
you know,
it's like, it's so much like, think about it. It's like, it's the Halloween store. You know what I mean? It's like every kid, especially it's like, it's been around for years. It's like if I got to shoot at a Blockbuster. You know my
God, you die.
Like, it's like sentimental and personal to you. You know, it's like some part of your childhood. It's something that, you know, like isn't a lot of people, like Halloween's a big part of like a lot of people's lives. A lot of people celebrate Halloween, you know, and it's just like so cool that like you know, like that's how it happened. Like as an adult, and now you're able to direct something. Like first you were going there as a kid, just like getting costumes, and then like fast forward, you're an adult and you're like directing like a music video there. Like who would have ever thought that? You know, like isn't that funny? Isn't that crazy?
And I'd never done one before either, so I was kind of like
that was your first music video.
I was like scared shitless to even do it because I understand. It's where it's like everything I've done has been like 15-minute, 14-minute short horror films.
Yeah.
High
we're like
concept,
in the same boat. Like
you
we
know,
do the same. Yeah.
You know,
totally.
So I'm glad that like, I mean, there's like 1,000 stories, even how those were made and like and what became of them. And then like, I'm so grateful for like all the people that like took risks on R.I. to meet Kosa and like, and Xavier and Andrew and like all these guys that like really took a risk in all these movies and stuff like that, because it taught me how to like do things. And like, so if I had, because I feel like if I had this opportunity before all that, I would have never even been able to like have a chance at it, you know, or execute it in any way. So it's just crazy that like I just felt like, okay, like I really got to give myself to this, you know. And so, and even people I got on board are not even like big Halloween people, like Ryan Love and like, you know, but like who are incredible producers and like, but they really like, you know, they gave it their all for it, man. And Angela was like the first person I called.
How did you meet Angela?
Well, Angela and I met actually on a different movie of ours because my buddy was producing, Costa was producing that one, and he like found it through a friend, and then she like, you know, so again, very fortunate these people because and I only worked as like a second AD for like a few days and just really bonded with her and a bunch of other people, and we just and I found out she loved like horror and Halloween, and she's just such an incredibly beautiful person, and so like just keeping up with her, and I never worked with her like, so I was like, that's the person like I need to call. Like,
yeah,
she'll be the one that's gonna jump up and be like, oh yeah, okay, you know.
And you were correct, right?
And she literally delivered. And she brought you all these wonderful people in our lives are super talented, like you and Victoria, and like.
No, I know. I'm so happy that we were able, like, because when I heard about it, I was like, wait, this sounds like super sick, and I felt like that too. I was like, Spirit Halloween store, like we literally, like I used to buy all my costumes there, you know, for the longest time, and like now I get like stuff for the house and decor. Not this year, I was behind on it. I don't know what I was
this
thinking.
Year alone. Yeah, no, don't
this
worry.
Year I was off my rock. I think because last year, like everything was so just like on pause that I just like kind of figured like I have more time to like buy things like last minute. And I don't know why I thought I could last minute like buy Halloween decorations. So I like go into the store. I go into the like Burbank Empire Plaza. And I literally hit all the stores, and it was like that same situation when we went costume shopping.
There's nothing there.
You know how we went and there was no Halloween setup? Well, I went and it was all Christmas. Like they're like, even though
Christmas
it was a week before Halloween, and I'm like, hello, like why is there Christmas stuff? They're like, oh, we already like sold it, like everything's sold out already. We set up for Christmas. And I'm just like, excuse me, like
this is disrespectful.
Yeah, like, it's still October and it's like 80 degrees outside. What's happening in California?
I'll never forget us driving around. That was so funny. We drove all the way to Pasadena.
I know. We went to like 3 different spirits, but we found one.
That was insane, man. But
and we literally like found all the stuff on, like from the Spirit Halloween costume, which was fun too. Like
which I was thinking. I was thinking at the time. I was thinking like that was probably the best thing we could have done because. It's also they have a partnership, Lovecraft and Spirit Halloween.
Cool.
So they're like I probably shouldn't say, but like there's certain things that like they're going to be more involved with even next year. But so I was like, oh dang, like we have to wear like spirit stuff in the videos and just the whole aesthetic.
It's like, it's like a win-win for everyone. Like it really is. Like for the band, the store, and the filmmaker.
Well, hell, even our Reaper, man, like.
Yeah,
and our choreographer. I mean, are there 2 leads? And
so how did how did you decide that? Like, how did you decide who was going to be dancing, who was going to be lead? Like, how did?
Well, I mean, a lot of that was like they gave me the decision to make, but like Lovecraft, man. So Stephanie Turek, like who was her choreographer and played the gal. She is one of the founders managers of JFI Productions, which puts on Creep Ballet every year, and so they had a close connection with her, and so they were like, hey, like we could get them. They're insane dancers. She would bring on and I only got to talk to her on the phone at that point. And dude, she's just so sweet. And like I was like, okay, I basically told her, I trust you. Like you get it. Just keep me updated, and we'll kind of like figure it out. And she brought on like Corey and all this, and then Justin Fix, who is like the creator of Creep LA,
wow.
and to dance in this video, they really pulled a lot of cool strings to get some amazing people. Like Corey, like he's like danced for Ariana Grande and stuff. And,
shit.
So I mean, clearly,
right.
He was, and so I don't know. I just loved, and Nikki who played our guy. It's like it's funny, you meet people so briefly, but they become so close to you because of like.
It's that's what I'm saying too. Like I feel like I always build a friendship after with my actors and crew because it's like you're working so close together and you're like happy creating stuff. You're like, this is awesome. Like we made that shit. Like I don't know. I think it's a great feeling. I'm like when you look back on something, you're like, holy shit, like we did that.
I mean, we did it. We literally in 12 hours pulled off. It always seems to be that way, But